You think you know the rules. You don't. Not even close. Right now, somewhere in Indiana, a law is waiting to catch you. A law so old, so absurd, yet so dangerously real. You could be breaking it today. You wouldn't even know. Indiana hides its strangest secrets in plain sight. This is one of them. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. The horse, the speed, the fine, all buried inside a forgotten statute. Most people laugh when they first hear it. Then they stop laughing. Because once you understand why this law exists, everything changes. Stay with me. This goes deeper than you think. Indiana, the Hoosier state. Flat, wide, quietly lawful. It entered the legal code quietly, with no fanfare. Someone, somewhere, decided 10 miles per hour was the limit. But why? What danger demanded a speed limit on a horse? Towns were crowded. Horses were powerful. Accidents were brutal. Laws like this were born, not in theory, but in tragedy. Every absurd law has a body behind it. A real person, a real moment. Indiana was not the only state to fear the galloping horse. Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Ohio, all had their own equestrian codes. America in the 1800s was built on horseback, and someone had to govern that. The horse was not just transport. It was power, status, speed itself. To control the horse was to control civilization itself. Lawmakers understood this instinctively. Speed equals chaos. And in a town of dirt roads and wooden buildings, 10 miles per hour was fast. At 10 miles per hour, a horse covers 15 feet every second. 15 feet per second. In a crowded town square. With no warning, the Indiana legislature looked at that number and made a decision. That decision still stands today. Unchanged. Unrepealed. You cannot outrun a law this old. It has been waiting longer than you have. Strange laws are not accidents. They are archaeology. Dig and you find a story. Indiana's horse law is archaeology. It preserves a moment frozen in amber. A moment when horses were dangerous. When towns were fragile. When law was new. Most people never question the laws they live under. That is how control works. Socrates questioned Athenian law. He paid with his life, but he also left us the greatest gift, the habit of asking why. Why does this law exist? Why 10 miles per hour specifically? 10 was likely chosen for its simplicity. Easy to judge, easy to enforce. Enforcement was another matter entirely. How do you clock a horse? Constables used judgment. Witnesses were called. Courts decided. It was imperfect law, but it was law. And law commands respect or consequences. Respect the law, and you are protected by it. Defy it, and it becomes your enemy. Indiana's horse speed law is a perfect example of civic contract. You enjoy the road. The town is safe. That is the deal. But what happens when you break the deal? What does Indiana actually do? The fine exists. The statute is active. The infraction can be cited. Most officers won't pursue it. But most is not all. And all it takes is one. The law favors the prepared. The unprepared become examples. History is littered with people who dismissed laws as too old to matter. They were wrong. The law was patient. It always is. Now consider this. Indiana has hundreds of statutes like this one. Laws about animals, about time, about noise, about neighbors. Each one a frozen moment. Each one a story of something that went wrong. America's legal system was built incident by incident, crisis by crisis. That means the system, for all its quirks, is fundamentally reactive. Something happens. People are harmed. A law appears. That is the machine. And once the machine produces a law, it rarely takes it back. Repeal requires effort, attention, political will, rarely available for old horse laws. So these laws accumulate. layer after layer, century after century, and you move through them every day without knowing. Innocence is not protection. Ignorance of the law is no defense. That principle is ancient. It is iron. The Romans knew it. The English codified it. America inherited it. Wholesale. So when you ride through Indiana or anywhere, the burden of knowledge is yours. That is not a burden to resent. That is a privilege to wield. Knowledge of law is armor. Every fact you know is one fewer vulnerability. The powerful have always known this. Now you know it too. Strange laws are not relics to laugh at. They are windows into who we were, and who we are is shaped by what we chose to make permanent. Indiana chose to keep its horse law. That choice says something. It says, we still respect the principle, even if we've forgotten the urgency. That is worth something. That is civilization's memory working correctly. Now you hold a piece of that memory. Use it well. Before we reach the climax, here is what you now know about Indiana's horse law. 1. The law is real, active, and on the Indiana statute books right now. 2. It was born from real danger, crowded towns, fast horses, real injuries. 3. Knowing it protects you. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. 3 facts, 3 pieces of armor. Carry them wherever you ride. And now the story accelerates, because Indiana is not alone. Across America, strange laws govern strange things. In Alaska, it was once illegal to push a moose from a moving airplane. In Florida, it's illegal to sing in public while wearing a swimsuit. In Ohio, it is illegal to get a fish drunk. Each absurd, each real. Each a window into a specific human moment of crisis. The law is funnier than you think, and more serious than you can imagine. That paradox is the gift. Laugh at it, then take it seriously. Both, simultaneously. That is the worldview that keeps you free. Now watch what happens next. Here is what they never taught you, and what changes everything. The system was never designed to protect you. It was designed to protect itself. Everything they told you was incomplete. The full picture is yours now. No one is coming to save you from a law you didn't know existed. This is the moment you choose, to know or to remain comfortable in not knowing. You have already chosen. You watched this far. That is not an accident. The aware citizen is the free citizen. That truth is older than Indiana, older than America. The horse law in Indiana is not a joke. It is an invitation to look deeper. Always, every strange law is a door. You are now someone who opens them. Open every door. Question every rule. Know your world completely. If this changed how you see the world, you don't need us to tell you what to do. You already know. The subscribe button is a small act. The knowledge you carry permanent. More is coming. Laws you don't know. Histories you haven't found. Truths waiting for you. This channel exists for one reason: to arm you with what they assumed you'd never find. Now tell us in the comments, what is the strangest law in your state or country? And do you think it should stay or finally be erased from the books forever?